The skies over Earth were calm. Birds flew over cities. Children played in the streets. But in a hidden command room deep beneath the surface of Alaska, alarms were flashing red dot. An urgent signal had arrived from deep space. It was not a distress call. It was a threat. General Holt stood in silence, staring at the message on the screen. Around him, officers whispered, unsure of what to say. The message was short, cold, and clear. It came from the Galactic Council, the oldest and most powerful. Union of alien civilizations. Earth must surrender all military power. Refuse, and you will face consequences. You have 7 Earth days to obey. There was no emotion in the words. No room for talk. Just control. General Holt's jaw tightened. They think they can. Scare us, he said quietly. Beside him, Commander Lena crossed her arms. They don't know us at all. 50 years ago, humans were first discovered by the wider galaxy. At first, the Council watched Earth from a distance. Then, they sent diplomats. Their first impressions were that Earth was violent, chaotic, and unstable. But over time, the humans adapted. They learned. They traded. They built. And most of all, they remembered how the galaxy looked down on them. Now, humans had colonies on 4 moons. They had ships, soldiers, and weapons never shown in public. But the Council thought Earth was still weak. They were wrong. In the United Earth Assembly, leaders from every nation met in secret. No news cameras, no journalists. Just quiet tension in a dark room. We are not ready for a full war, said one leader. No, another replied, but we are ready to finish one. There was silence. Then General Holt stepped forward. He placed a small data drive on the table. This is Black Directive 1. If we activate it, there is no going back. An older woman nodded. And if we don't, we kneel. Is that it? Number 1 spoke. Then the President of Earth, a calm man with gray hair, said just one word. Activate. In orbit, something changed. The Earth defense grid, known as the Silence, lit up. For years, it had stayed hidden in the shadows of the planet's satellites. Now, massive power lines connected. Plasma barriers spun to life. Dozens of stealth cruisers, once floating in total silence, opened their weapon bays. The Council's spies noticed it too late. On their main relay station near Jupiter, a technician panicked. Sir, Earth's defense system just went live. Entire command net is operational. I think they're preparing for war. His commander laughed. War? Please, they're bluffing. But Earth wasn't bluffing. Far above the Pacific Ocean, an enormous ship uncloaked. Its name was Vanguard. Vanguard was Earth's most dangerous prototype, unknown to even most of its own people. Its hull was made of layered quantum alloys. Its weapons could melt moons. It had only one job: to answer threats Earth could not ignore. Inside, its captain, a woman named Ray, watched the stars with calm eyes. Are we green across the board? She asked. Yes, ma'am, replied her crew. All systems online. We await the command. Ray smiled slightly. It always starts like this, she whispered. First, they threaten. Then, they run. Meanwhile, the Council prepared. A second message. They had not yet seen Earth's movements. In their minds, Earth was still a young planet, easily scared. Their new message was even more direct. One day remains. Surrender or face total removal from the stars. The message was broadcast on every channel across the galaxy. Billions of species heard it. Many laughed. Some felt pity. A few grew silent, but Earth did not reply. Not with words. Instead, Earth sent a single encrypted signal toward the stars. The signal contained only 4 words. Black protocols are active. In a dark council hall, many light years away, counselors, from 12 different species watched the message come in. A chill ran through them. One counselor stood up, face pale. Those protocols, they were never supposed to be used. Impossible, said another. Earth doesn't have the strength. But one elder counselor leaned forward, eyes wide. You don't understand, she whispered. If black protocols are active, they're not planning defense. She looked around slowly. They're planning destruction. Asterisk in the center of the galaxy, inside a towering crystal palace, floating above a gas giant, the High Council of Galactic Order gathered. 12 counselors sat on floating platforms, each representing their species. Their robes shimmered with light. Their faces were proud. At the center, Grand Speaker Valor tapped his clawed fingers on a curved table. Well, has Earth responded to our warning? A communication officer bowed. No, Grand Speaker, no words. But ... double quote. But what? There was ... a signal. The lights in the chamber dimmed as the officer played the message again. Black protocols. Are active. The room fell silent. Even the younger counselors, who had mocked humanity before, now shifted in their seats. But Valor laughed. Bluff. Empty noise. These primitives still believe they are feared. Counselor Drella from the Yala, silent water world of Ulmara, spoke next. We've studied their history. Black protocols are not just a bluff. They are a war trigger. And what will they do? Valor sneered. Throw rocks at us? Their ships are small. Their colonies are spread thin. If they move, we erase. Them. A few nodded. Most did not speak. But deep down, something had changed. Back on Earth, in a hidden command bunker under the Andes Mountains, General Holt and Commander Lena watched as data streamed in. All outer satellites confirm it, Lena said. Council has dismissed our signal as a bluff. Good, Holt replied. Let them. He turned to the operations wall, where dozens of red markers glowed. Are the ghost fleets ready? Yes, sir. Silent mode. Orbiting 7 council sectors. And Project Echo? Also ready. Holt nodded once. Then let's give them silence, followed by thunder. Meanwhile, in council space, things weren't as calm as the leaders believed. On the moon of Taurix, a trading station shut. Down overnight. No one could reach it. On the icy planet Veran 5, a council patrol ship vanished without sending a distress call. Even the council's secure comms began dropping one by one. Some suspected malfunctions. Others whispered the words. No one wanted to hear. The humans are already inside. Counselor Soren, leader of the Car Dominion, a warlike insectoid species, stood in anger during the next meeting. This is weakness, he shouted. They should have kneeled when given the chance. We must crush their systems now, before they strike harder. Valor smiled. Finally, someone speaks sense. I call for immediate assault. We send our fleets, bomb their shipyards, and remind the galaxy who rules. The vote passed, 10 in favor. 2 against. It was done. The war was declared. But Earth was already ahead. As the Council organized fleets to move toward Sol, humanity activated Project Echo, a war intelligence weapon built by AI-human hybrids. Every move the Council made was being tracked in real time. Fleet 7 leaving Rixer system. Cruisers heading to Mars route. Confirmed, said one technician. Commander Lina grinned. They're marching straight into the trap. Above Neptune, the Vanguard remained silent, hidden in the planet's magnetic shadow. Inside, Captain Ray received the final update. They voted. It's war, her officer said. Ray stood. Then let's stop being polite. Back in council chambers, the news spread fast. Earth had not only detected the council's movements, but had jammed their long-range comms. How? No one knew. Then a terrifying message played across every council fleet screen. Your mistake wasn't the threat. It was believing we were still alone. The message was signed simply, Earth Command, and then the first attack came. A fleet of 40 ships, sent toward Earth's Mars colony, disappeared. Gone. No distress signal. No battle report. Only wreckage left behind, melted metal drifting silently in space, bearing the burn marks of weapons the Council didn't recognize. Back in the chamber, Velor stood frozen, eyes wide. What have we done? He whispered. But it was too late. The humans had heard the threat, and now they were answering. Asterisk. Space near the edge of Council territory had turned quiet too quiet. On board a Council scout vessel patrolling the Anari belt, Technician Relk noticed something strange. Captain, he said, voice shaky, we're picking up something. Very old, a Terran signal. The captain walked over. Could be a decoy. Relk zoomed in on the transmission. It was repeating every 13 seconds. No message, just a dark, deep pulse. Boom. 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 Audio. It was a frequency like the beat of a heart, but it wasn't biological. It was mechanical, measured, designed, and terrifying. What is it? The captain asked. Relk whispered, I don't know. But it's broadcasting from inside our defense line. They stared at each other. Then the screen flickered. Words appeared in Terran. Standard. We are already here. The Council didn't know that Earth had been preparing for this for 20 years. Project Black Signal was Earth's secret war strategy, a network of stealth drones and relay beacons placed inside Council space long ago during peaceful trade missions. These devices were hidden inside asteroid fields, old mining stations, even embedded in forgotten satellites. When Earth activated Black protocols, the system came alive. It did 3 things. Blinded Council communications, mapped all fleet movements in real time, broadcasted one terrifying message across thousands of alien channels. You threaten the wrong species. In the Terran Central Command bunker, Commander Lena monitored the chaos. Council fleets are breaking formation, she said. Half their systems can't even talk to each other. General Holt nodded. Keep the signal going. No direct attacks yet. Let them feel the fear first. He looked at the galaxy map. Red icons blinked as Council fleets moved blindly, unaware of the traps waiting for them. Any word from the Vanguard? He asked, still in place near Council border. Zone Epsilon, a soldier replied. Good. Hold them back. When they beg for answers, we'll let the Vanguard reply. Inside the Council chamber, fear spread faster than orders. How is Earth jamming us from within? Counselor Drella snapped. Someone must have helped them. This has to be sabotage. Shouted another. Velor stood slowly. For the first time, the proud speaker's voice shook. No. This is not sabotage, he said. This is planning, patience, precision. He walked toward the window, staring out at the swirling stars. We thought Earth was loud. We thought they would rage and scream. He turned to the others, but instead they went quiet. Meanwhile, across a Council-controlled colony called Tevron, lights began to flicker. The colony governor looked out his tower window and gasped out above. The sky, hundreds of black shapes drifted in silently sleek, blade-like ships with no markings. No broadcasts. No noise. Then a single light blinked red beneath each one, and they vanished. Seconds later, every weapon depot, tower, and military post on the colony exploded at once. Not one civilian was harmed. A message played on every screen. We target only those who threaten us. Stand down, and you are safe. News of the Black Signal attacks spread like wildfire. In trade hubs, alien merchants abandoned their shops. On Council outposts, soldiers refused to deploy. Civilians started whispering. New names. The silent humans, the shadowed ones, the Deathworlders from the dark. The galaxy no longer laughed at Earth, that it held its breath dot in orbit above the gas giant Ormuth. Council Fleet 9 finally received a clear message, not from their leaders dot from Earth. A woman's voice, calm and firm, echoed across their ships. This is Captain Ray of the Vanguard. You sent a threat. This is our reply. As her voice ended, dozens of Terran warships uncloaked around them silent. Focused, deadly, no warnings, no second chances. The battle began, and it ended in less than 2 minutes. Back on Earth, General Holt folded his hands and gave a short nod. They wanted an answer, he said. Commander Lena responded, voice low and serious. They're starting to understand the question. Asterisk, the Council's emergency war room, once filled with pride and laughter, had turned cold and silent. Screens showed black ships drifting in orbit above shattered colonies. Ships with no visible engines, no lights, no symbols. Ships that looked more like shadows than machines. One by one, systems were falling. Counselor Valor slammed his fist onto the desk. This is not war. This is surgical collapse. They're not attacking. They're removing us. They haven't touched our homeworlds yet, whispered Counselor Soren, antennae twitching. But they will. They already had, a day earlier. Earth launched Operation Torchfall, its first official act of war, but it wasn't announced. It wasn't shown on screens. It was just done. In the silent darkness beyond the binary stars of Tazarin. The Council's high armory floated in peace. It was the largest weapons storage facility in the galaxy, heavily guarded. Impossible to breach. At least, that's what they believed. But Earth didn't send ships. They sent a rock. A single asteroid, coated in black shielding, was launched months ago at sublight speed by a Terran rail system near Pluto. It moved slowly, hidden behind debris, and never emitted a signal. By the time the armory noticed, it was too late. There was no explosion. There was erasure. The asteroid hit with such force that the entire station turned into vapor, erased from existence in one white flash. The blast wave was so strong, it knocked out communications on 5 nearby moons. On board the Vanguard, Captain Ray watched the distant readings. Impact confirmed, said her weapons officer. Any survivors? She asked. None. Ray stood quietly, arms behind her back. They made their first move with a message, she said. We answered with silence. Across the galaxy, panic spread like fire. On the trade planet Ventura, smugglers and merchants dropped their crates and abandoned their ports. On university worlds, professors who once mocked human culture now erased their archives, afraid of being seen supporting the Council. Entire species began removing Council banners, replacing them with neutral symbols. No one wanted to be seen, choosing the wrong side, especially now. Back in Earth's war room, Commander Lena scanned intercepted alien messages. They're retreating, she reported. Several minor Council races have pulled back from key systems. Others are asking for talks. General Holt raised an eyebrow. Talks? After they demanded we kneel? He leaned over the map. No, not yet. At the edge of the Kirill Nebula, the Council gathered 90 warships, a final show of strength. These were their best cruisers, built over centuries. Piloted by veterans. They sent them to block Earth's known outer fleet routes, expecting a fight. Instead, they got nothing. No battle. No signal. Just darkness. Then 13 seconds of silence, followed by a massive gravitational spike. The stars shifted. And then Earth's response came. From the void between the stars, 6 Terran dreadships dropped out of stealth mode. These weren't like the Council's ships, polished and proud. These were ugly, scarred machines, massive, burned, built for one purpose: destruction. Captain Ray, commanding the vanguard, sent the final warning: leave or be turned to dust. Council ships opened fire, and in the next 15 seconds, their entire fleet was erased. Only 2 damaged vessels limped away. Their crews were silent, their systems broken. One captain managed to send a short recording back to Council space. We never saw them move. They were just there. Then we weren't. In the council hall, the recording ended. Valor, once proud and full of fire, sank into his seat. "This is extinction," he whispered. "No," said Counselor Drella. "This is Earth's reply." On Earth, Commander Lena turned to General Holt. "The galaxy is listening now." Holt nodded. "Then it's time we speak clearly." The council once stood tall. 12 proud species, united by power, tradition, and pride. Now they sat in shadows. Their war fleets were vanishing. Their strongholds were falling. And the galaxy they ruled with fear was watching them crumble one world at a time. In the grand chamber of the High Council, the silence was painful. The hologram of the destroyed Tazron armory spun in the air. No debris, no signals, no escape. Just nothingness. Counselor Valor stared, his eyes bloodshot. "We raised fleets. We built walls, and they tore it down with a rock." Counselor Soren, the insectoid general, stood shakily. "They don't fight with honor. They fight to end us." Counselor Drella's voice was cold. "No, they fight because we left them no choice." The room froze. She continued. "We mocked them, threatened them, ordered them to kneel. And now," she nodded toward the star map behind her, "they rise." Across the galaxy, symbols began to change. Small worlds that once flew the Council's flag quietly lowered it. Outposts that once honored the 12 now displayed no banners. And others raised the symbol of Earth, not out of loyalty, out of fear. In the mining colonies of Jolter, once a council-run slave world, humans arrived, but they didn't come to kill. They came with food. With tools, with doctors. The freed aliens fell to their knees, not in worship, but in disbelief. No one's ever helped us before," whispered one broken worker. The lead human medic, a woman with gray gloves and a scar across her face, simply replied, "You're not the enemy. You're the reason we fight." This confused the galaxy even more. Earth wasn't just destroying military targets. They were rescuing the oppressed, uplifting the weak, punishing only the powerful. It wasn't conquest. It was judgment. Back in council space, Valor made a final, desperate move. He called a secret summit inviting only the oldest, strongest species. "They'll come for our core worlds next," he said. "We must strike Earth directly, crush their capital, earn their oceans, end them." Soren nodded. "Yes, a final assault. One blow to shatter their courage." And so it began. They called it Operation Spear. 97 warships, 2 dreadnoughts, and a stealth carrier loaded with anti-planet missiles. Their target, Earth itself. But Earth had already seen it coming. The black signal system had tracked every whisper of Operation Spear. And at the edge of the Sol system, Earth's true defense waited. Not hidden, cloaked. Just quiet. The Leviathan, a Terran Titan-class warship, one of only 3 ever built. 10 kilometers long. A floating fortress of layered armor, AI weaponry, and a core reactor that could bend light. When Operation Spear entered the system, they saw only one ship ahead. Just one. They laughed. "It's alone," said a council commander. And then it opened its eyes. Dozens of plasma cannons slid open like ancient gates. Its hull shifted, revealing weapons they didn't understand. And the Leviathan spoke. "This is Earth's final warning. Turn back or be undone." The Council fleet fired dot, and the Leviathan moved. What followed wasn't a battle dot. It was a massacre dot in less than 42 seconds. The entire Council assault force was reduced to drifting metal and silence. Only one escape pod made it out dot inside was a wounded pilot, shaking, crying dot. His only words recorded, That wasn't a ship. It was a god. Back in the Council chamber, Belor dropped the last operation file onto the table. No more lies, he said. No more pride. He looked around. They are not like us. They do not bluff. They do not forget. And they do not stop. Counselor. Drella closed her eyes. Then it's done. The Council falls. And no one argued dot in Earth's bunker. Commander Lena turned to General Holt. The Council just went dark. No response. No orders. They're collapsing. Holt didn't smile. Good, he said. Let them fall. They built their throne on fear. Now it breaks under truth. Asterisk, the galaxy had changed. Planets once filled with songs of power now echoed with silence. Fleets once proud now floated as broken debris. And the mighty Galactic Council, once feared across the stars, no longer sent threats. Now, they sent Beggs dot in the neutral starport of Gavros. Messengers from 8 different species gathered. Most had never spoken before. Some had been enemies for centuries. But now, they had one thing in common. Fear of Earth. We must send a message, said the Chancellor of the Laraxi people. Together. A united request for peace. Will they listen? Asked the thin, scaled envoy from Uruk. A grizzled warrior leaned forward. They listened when we threatened them. Now, they might. Only listen if we kneel. And so, for the first time in history, former Council species signed a joint plea, not a treaty, not a deal, just a message. Earth, we ask for peace. We were wrong. We see that now. Please stop. The message reached Earth within hours dot. It played across every Terran command screen. Officers stood still as the recording repeated dot. Commander Lena raised an eyebrow. Interesting. General Holt leaned back in his chair. They've switched tactics. Now they beg. Should we answer? She asked. Holt tapped a button. Aye. Star map lit up, red zones glowing across it. No, not yet. First, we finish what we started. The next move wasn't an attack. It was a rescue. On a forgotten mining world called Yeltri 9, millions of enslaved workers lived underground. Most were from smaller species, long abused by the Council. Their cries for help had always been ignored. But now, they were heard. From above the clouds, 6 Terran dropships descended like silent angels. When the miners saw humans stepping out, not with weapons raised, but with stretchers, food, and translators, they dropped their tools and wept. A small, alien child reached for a soldier's gloved hand. Are you going to hurt us? The soldier knelt down. No, he said softly. We're here because your rulers forgot you. We didn't. Across the galaxy, these actions confused the Council survivors. Why are they helping? Asked one broken noble. They've already won. They're not here to rule us, another whispered. They're here to end what we built and build something better. Meanwhile, back on Earth, a new project began Operation Restoration. Ships no longer just carried weapons. They carried engineers, healers, and teachers. Where Council cities burned, Earth sent light. Where fear remained, humans sent knowledge. Not because they were soft, because they had nothing left to prove. But still, not all were forgiven. On the shattered capital moon of Velthor, the Council's last elite held their breath. They knew Earth hadn't come for peace. Not with them. And they were right. One night, without a sound, every high-ranking general, slaver, and warlord vanished. No alarms. No explosions. Only a final message was left on their screens. Justice does not knock. In the Terran High Command, messages poured in from across space. We surrender. Can we rebuild? Will you lead us? Commander Lena looked to General Holt. They're not just afraid now. They want guidance. Holt nodded slowly. Then they better understand something. He stood before the galaxy's open channel and spoke calmly. Earth does not want a throne. We want balance. If you truly seek peace, then it begins with truth and ends with change. He paused. But if you try to rebuild what you were, we will return. And so, a new order began. Some called it the Silence Era, where no wars broke. Out and all listened before they spoke. Others called it the Earth Accord, where even the smallest species had a voice, and no one ruled by fear again, but most just remembered the eyes of the Terran fleet, cold, silent, watching, back on the Vanguard. Captain Ray stood alone on the bridge, watching stars pass. Her ship no longer hunted, but it waited. Will peace last? Her officer asked. Ray didn't. Answer. She simply whispered, We're not gods. We're just humans, but sometimes that's enough to change everything. The stars were quiet now. No war signals. No fleets on the move. No threats whispered in dark channels. What began as a warning to Earth had become a lesson carved across the galaxy. But Earth hadn't forgotten the first message. Not the insult. Not the demand. Not the threat that said, surrender or face consequences. Now, the galaxy waited to see Earth's final move. Would they conquer? Would they crown themselves rulers? No one knew, but everyone feared the answer. In orbit above a dead Council capital, the Vanguard drifted like a ghost. Its massive hull reflected the broken moon below. Its weapons were silent, but not offline. Inside, Captain Ray stood before a screen showing every known system still under Council control. Her orders had come in, simple and direct. This is not revenge. This is the final chapter. Send the message. Ray nodded. Begin transmission. Across every major planet, colony, and relay, Terran signal towers activated. Screens blinked. Holograms lit up. And a voice human, calm and steady, spoke. This is Earth. You sent a threat. You expected fear. Instead, you found resolve. You found unity. You found war. There was a pause. We have no more threats. We have no more warnings. Only one message remains. Suddenly, the screen shifted. Thousands of images filled the galaxy's skies. Terran medics healing alien children. Human engineers rebuilding alien cities. Earth ships flying not as conquerors, but as guardians. And finally, one image burned into memory. A human hand reaching out to a broken alien soldier. Not with a weapon, but with a lift. Then came the final words. You asked us to kneel. We stood. You wanted silence. We answered. You feared us. Now you understand why. The screen faded. We are Earth. We do not rule, but we do not forget. On a distant moon, an elder alien priest wept. This is not domination, he whispered. It is a mirror. His student asked, a mirror? The elder nodded slowly. Yes, Earth became what we always claimed to be fair, strong, unbreakable, but only when pushed. Inside Earth's War Command, General Holt turned to Commander Lena. It's done, she said. Not yet, Holt replied. There's one more thing. He pressed a code into the console. A list of names appeared, every council official responsible for war crimes, enslavement, or genocide. The list had been prepared for years, not by spies, but by witnesses. Holt sent it across the stars. These are the names. Justice belongs to all. We are not your rulers, but we will not let evil hide behind peace. What followed was something the galaxy had never seen. Entire species stood up and removed their own corrupt leaders. Former slaves turned into local governors backed silently by Terran satellites. Earth never invaded again. They didn't need to. Their presence alone had become enough. Because now, Earth meant something more than just a planet. It meant the turning point. The Galactic Council was never rebuilt. In its place stood a new assembly open to all, ruled by none. At its center sat an empty chair. Polished black. It belonged to Earth, but Earth never filled it. Instead, they sent a simple plaque. To sit on the seat, we answer only when called. We rise only when pushed. We strike only when needed. But when we do, we end it. Years passed. Children of different species grew up speaking Earth Standard. They read stories not of fear, but of fire forged into protection. Of warriors who didn't come to destroy everything. Only the things that stood in the way of peace. And somewhere in the stars, aboard the Vanguard, Captain Ray received a final message. Stand down. Fleet to return home. Mission complete. She looked at her crew. We made history, she said quietly. Her officer replied with a grin. We made it better. The ship turned slowly, leaving behind broken stars. And a new future. No banners. No songs. Just silence and peace. Final line. They threatened Earth, but Earth didn't. Just reply. It changed the galaxy forever. Asterisk.